Hello. So, today I'm going to be talking about Mars in Libra. Alright. So, Mars in Libra is a pretty interesting sign. I don't think that it is one of the easiest Mars placements because it's at a conflict. Mars is the warrior, and it's very aggressive and action taking, sharp, strong. It represents anger and frustration at times, and Libra wants peace and harmony. So, and balance. So when you have this placement, what ends up resulting is a lot of non-action. From what I've observed with people that have this placement is that they would rather not act in case it rocks the boat somehow. So these people can have a difficult time motivating and being assertive. But when it comes to situations where someone is being treated unfairly, or if the balance is really thrown off, or if it's a social justice issue, they will definitely take action and step up to the plate. Because when Mars in Libra does act, it's typically to counterbalance something else that's going on. Whereas a lot of the other signs will act just because they want to, or they feel it, or they're trying to get something. Libra almost only reacts as a response. It doesn't, in this placement, it's not too much of an initiator. It's more of like a reactionary placement. So, it can be hard at times to self-motivate or start new projects or feel particularly inspired if you're alone. But because of the nature of this placement, if you surround yourself with groups of people that all have different ideas and different opinions and ways that they want to do things, you'll find that you actually act quite often. So my suggestion for Mars and Libra people is to be social. As basic as that sounds, yes, Libra is an air sign. And on a separate but similar note, you will often motivate in order to connect with other people. So something that will get you up and going and out of the house is knowing that you have a date or plans to go to dinner with a friend. That's something that's going to make you act. Knowing that you can get some kind of relational or social experience out of it is really energizing for you. And you're probably somewhat of an extrovert who gets a lot of power and motivation from being around other people and talking to them. And in that sense, you can be really assertive about starting conversations. Mars in Libra is someone that is really good about kind of approaching people on tough subjects that they really need to work through, or if they feel like they've been treated unfairly, they'll let you know about it. In terms of anger, Mars in Libra doesn't really get too angry unless they feel like they are not being treated fairly or compensated fairly, or being viewed equally to other people. That is something that will make them feel very frustrated. But because it's an air sign, they'll typically communicate their anger with you. they're not really, even though Libra is an air sign, it's not very passive aggressive. They might be unaware of certain things that are going on and their emotions, but if they are upset about something, they're going to tell you about it. So that's something that you don't have to worry about with those people. They typically communicate in a way that they don't want to anger you, but Mars and Libra will reciprocate their anger and their frustration with the level of retribution that they need. So let's say you mess up a little bit. They're going to just kind of calmly remind you about something. Let's say you crash their car. You're probably going to fucking destroy them verbally. Or really destroy your relationship with them, because that's something that Mars and Libra does when they're angry, is they will cut people off and stop hanging out with them and kind of find new friends or situations to be in. And that is part of their retaliation, and they know that by cutting themselves off, they're taking something away. So they really only act and get angry out of fairness. So if you do something to anger a Mars in Libra, really pay attention to what you did, and you're probably somewhat in the wrong about it. They typically get really angered by the relationships that they have, like, whereas, you know, whatever, Mars and Taurus might get really angry about financial troubles or material things in their life, or Mars and Capricorn might get mad at work. Mars and Libra really can get frustrated with their partner, with people that they're living with their friends, with their family. That's a big source of anger for you, are the people in your life. And so it's important to figure out how to balance that, and maybe surround yourself with people that bring you more of the peace and balance that you need. Because as ironic as it is, when Mars in Libra explodes and gets really angry, it's because they're trying to return things back to a peaceful state. So they will only act to get things back to a neutral, stable position. Even though Aquarius is fixed, it is very innovative, and Gemini is all over the place. And I really believe that Libra is looking for some sort of stability in their life, and that balance and that equilibrium, more so than anyone else. So having relationships where you can communicate clearly and openly, with as little anger as possible, is really important. And if you find yourself in a partnership where you're arguing constantly, then it's probably because the energy exchange between you guys isn't equal and it's not fair. You might be giving too much, you might be taking too much, and you're gonna have to review that, because for you, a really important aspect of relationships is going to be an energetic balance. And you're gonna have to, you know, it's not gonna be 50-50 all the time, but if your partner is going through some stuff or some hard times, you can pick up the slack, and vice versa. And that's really how you're gonna have more of that peace and calmness that you want. Is just having a game plan and having open talks about it. In terms of sex, Mars in Libra is someone that probably isn't too interested in having sex outside of a relationship, in terms of they're not really that likely to engage with someone that they're not going to want to see more than one time. So like one night stands aren't super common, because that would be sort of boring to them. Because for a Mars in Libra, sex is an extension of being in a relationship, and it's a part of it. It's an integral part of it. So they don't really want to separate those two things from each other. Libra is one that kind of, it likes to explore, but once Libra has found someone that really complements them. They can be incredibly monogamous. They have a reputation for being cheaters, but this is typically Libra suns. And that's not what this video is about, so I'm not going to really touch on that. But as far as Libra Mars goes, I'm really getting the sense that they might entertain a few people at the same time, yes, but in terms of sex, they would really prefer being in either a short-term or a long-term relationship, so some level of commitment before engaging in intimacy of that level. And monogamy and being exclusive are the same, but in the same way they aren't. I'm not really sure how to explain that, but they are two different things, because monogamy implies more than just sex. It's like this romantic space that is very much only between the two of you. And being exclusive is just simply keeping sex to yourself. But that's where polyamory comes in, and I feel like Mars in Libra is someone who could explore these boundaries, but they are still very relational. I apologize if the last few minutes have been confusing. It's a little bit difficult to understand sometimes because everyone is very different. And Libra is a very fluid energy, while Mars is very direct. So going back to what I said in the beginning, the sign is in a little bit of a conflict, and it might not have as much energy as other signs. Like Mars in Cancer, for example, typically has a struggle to really pull from the depths of itself. Just as Mars in Libra, sometimes external factors are the only thing that can actually get you to act, which are a bit out of your control. So your energy levels are probably pretty varying depending on what's going on around you. So if you are depressed, I believe it's important to look at Mars in your chart. And if you are depressed, your Mars probably isn't functioning to its full potential. And in this situation, I think that if you are feeling really low or empty, it's important to go out and socialize. Maybe research a cause that you're interested in, or do some volunteer work, because Libra really likes to balance out what's going on in the world. So it's important for you to feel like you have a purpose and like you're doing something good and doing something just. Even getting involved on social media and just making a simple blog post about something that you're passionate about can really lift your mood if you are feeling disconnected. So that's all I have to say about Mars and Libra for right now. Just a really general overview. If you guys are interested in any of the other services that I provide, I do birth charts, Reiki healing, and Skype sessions. And I will provide my website in the description, which has more details about those services. So thank you so much for watching. I think the next one is going to be Mars in Sagittarius, if I'm not wrong. So I will be back with that soon, and then we're almost done with Mars. So that's kind of exciting. It's been super interesting to talk about, and Mars is in Sagittarius right now, so that'll be perfect. Like this video if you learned something, and thanks so much.